Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on transforming customer engagement with the modern agentic platform. My name is Jason Almeida. I'm a solution director at Hitachi Solutions, focusing on AI business solutions. I'm joined by my colleague.
Hi everyone, my name is David Reed. I'm a solution architect at Hitachi as well, and I focus on AI business solutions.
So just a little bit of housekeeping. We've got the Q&A open, so if you've got any questions or comments, please put them in there and we'll look to respond to them either during the session or our email after. It is a packed agenda and we've got a lot of ground to cover and demos as well, but we do have some in-person events where there is an opportunity to see more. I've got some links and QR codes. You should be able to click on them as we go through, so please do if you want to engage. So we're going to start by just doing a little bit of scene setting of where organizations are today and where we see them going with the modern agentic platform. And we're going to show this in action with intelligent insights and marketing, and then look at this concept of invisible CRM for sales from the perspective of a sales rep, look at agent-first customer service, and then we're going to see how all of this gets brought together with the underlying Microsoft Power Platform. And we'll open up the floor to questions at the very end and a few key takeaways for yourself for everyone who's joined us today. So let's start by looking at why so many traditional CRMs fail today. And first and foremost, the legacy CRMs that we see around, they're designed for a different era. They're focused on data entry and reporting, and they don't really focus on the customer, and they're not geared up towards the fast-paced environments that we have today. They prioritize transactions over relationships, so all of the employees or the sales reps putting data in, and then management reporting from the top. And in the flow of work, the actual data entry part gets missed, and then equally you miss on the opportunity to build loyalty and drive growth as well. Because of this disparate sort of technology and systems, teams are feeling overwhelmed, and it makes collaboration harder. And finally, with a lot of platforms that we see today, they say, oh, there's this add-on or this bolted on AI, or this integration, and all of these additions create a patchwork of technology stacks that are harder to maintain over time. So it is key that we rethink this. Now, the impact here is quite real on a business where customers, they get inconsistent experiences. There's lost employee productivity from the swivel chair approach, and there's inefficient operations, and most importantly, with some of these AI tools as well, there is a security risk there with using some of these external tools. Now, we've seen the system perspective of things, but equally this translates into an organization and departmental perspective as well. And the silo systems then help encourage siloed teams and ways of working. And because they operate in silos, handoffs and customer experiences become imperfect, shall we say. And the key issue here is that from a customer standpoint, they don't care about the internal silos from a system or organization perspective. They just want that when they get in touch with you, you know them, either from a marketing in terms of what you're recommending or from a service perspective in terms of what you've purchased. So they expect you to know them regardless of the point of interaction. Now, looking at all of these challenges of rising expectations, the pressures, the overwhelmed teams, and the disruption that is AI, we're seeing it today. It does bring a host of improvements, but there are also concerns that we need to bear in mind where people are using these external AI tools to put organizational data, and that might not operate with the same security as your business might. So it is a very real concern, and there are statistics to back this up where 66% of marketeers struggle with trying to build and track simple journeys, and sales leaders are struggling on reporting on data quality, as I mentioned earlier. If sellers aren't putting the data in, it's hard to report on the data out. So then that's what encourages the data quality issue, and we see the trouble with communication as well. But on the plus side, the AI opportunity is huge. We're seeing a lot of teams already experimenting with Gen AI on a day-to-day basis, and that's using a myriad of tools. But here's the thing, looking out in the future, Gartner's predicting that 95% of seller research will begin with AI. You want to know your customer, you're going to go out and do that research, and we'll show you how that research is brought to you today. And then they also expect that 15% of day-to-day work decisions will be done autonomously through agentic AI. And Dave is going to touch upon some of that autonomous agentic capability as well.
Yeah, so thank you, Jason. So what we're talking about here is, as Jason was mentioning, a lot of sellers are finding it difficult to put data in. We're not getting enough input into the system. And that's because a lot of the system of records that people are using, their CRMs, their common customer data platforms, are difficult to use. They're basically fairly legacy user interfaces over data. And getting that precious data into the platform means that it's actually quite a tax and burden on some kind of user scenarios. Now, what we're looking at now, of course, as we move towards this more AI-first era, the AI agents, the Copilot and so on, are able to help people, use the data that they've already put into the platform, but also while things are moving and flowing to the right, we also see these Copilot processes, these agentic processes, actually being able to filter and create additional and augment the data in the estate across sales, marketing, and service workloads. So it's not just a tool, it's going to be your assistant guiding you through your different processes for sales, marketing, service. With everything connected, your reps, business leaders, and advisors can focus on what matters, building relationships, solving problems, and driving results. So the impact of these agentic systems is real. You get better sales, personalized outreach, happier customers. And Microsoft's platform isn't a patchwork of different systems, it's unified. So you're going to see value fast. So we'll look at that in a little bit more detail. So you're familiar with the Microsoft tools for productivity and collaboration. Things like Teams, like we're using here for this call, is widely used, as well as Outlook for email exchange. And a lot of organizations are using some of the other productivity suite, like SharePoint for collaborating on documents, and Excel, and so on. So we see that as being part of the core platform. But of course, Dynamics 365, Power Platform, Microsoft 365, and Azure AI all work together. And Microsoft has built AI into every product across the stack. Dataverse is the engine. It keeps your data fresh, secure, and ready to use. And Copilot is built into every product. And AI helps you wherever you're working across those different products in the stack. Security and privacy are built in from the start, so you don't have the problem of having lots of bolt-ons or expensive integrations. It's all in one place, it's all familiar and easy to manage and quick to adopt. So let's look a bit more on these products. We'll see a little bit more of these capabilities as we go through the demonstrations today. We're going to be looking at sales and customer insights in a moment. But also later on, I'll talk about customer service and also the contact center capabilities in the product. So, and then at the end, we'll also look at the Power Platform as well. So quite a lot to run through. So I'm just going to hand back to Jason to talk through the marketing scenario.
Thanks, David. So before I go into the scenario, just to touch on some of the challenges I called out at a macro level. With organizations, you zoom into the marketing department, the issue is just as pronounced, mainly because of the nature of their role. Their role is to sort of harness data from multiple systems, build this 360 view of the customer, create a segment of people or individuals or businesses they want to target, and then drive marketing campaign activity. But if every one of these steps are manual, it becomes an arduous process. So when you get to the end of that campaign planning, it is time consuming. And ultimately, it means that your entire marketing activity is reactive and not proactive. So we're going to see how we're going to think this into a connected platform that makes things more intelligent. So with that, I'm going to introduce our fictitious company called Hysol Energy. They aim to lead the telecoms and infrastructure sectors with decarbonization solutions such as solar, battery, and AI-driven energy solutions. Their aim as an organization is to provide intelligent sales and service and deliver a seamless customer experience using AI tools to drive smarter sales, better marketing, and proactive services as well, ultimately providing an excellent customer experience. So our scenario from a marketing perspective, we're going to take on the persona of Cheryl, our marketing manager, who's looking to target some customers who have purchased a solar canopy kit, and she wants to invite them to a webinar. Now, for this, she's going to look at a 360 customer view of them and then build a segment. And we'll see how then she can quickly use Copilot to accelerate the journey and marketing copy creation exercise. And then finally, we'll see how when someone signs up to a webinar, it comes in directly into Dynamics 365, which she can then hand over to a sales agent or a sales rep.
Cheryl, our marketeer, starts her day in customer insights data. Her goal? To bring together data from multiple sources and identify customers who have purchased or shown interest in our solar canopy kit offering. Within customer insights, Cheryl can access detailed profiles for a complete customer view. She sees key details, an interaction timeline, and even industry-standard metrics like brand sovereignty, giving her instant clarity on engagement. Cheryl creates a segment of customers who have previously purchased the solar canopy kit to target them with HiSol's upcoming decarbonization webinar. Once she builds her segment of target customers, she can seamlessly sync it to customer insights journeys, where she can build a content delivery journey. Instead of manually piecing together steps for a journey, Cheryl can create one using Copilot. She simply describes the desired flow, journey triggers, touchpoints, activities, and goals, and Copilot builds a multi-step journey. She quickly chooses the content for each step, like emails, messages, and page links, making the process fast and intuitive, so campaigns launch faster with less effort. When it's time to select emails and craft marketing copy, Copilot steps in to accelerate the process. Instead of starting from scratch, Cheryl adds a few key points, and Copilot instantly generates content ideas based on those inputs and the tone from past campaigns. She can pick one or more suggestions, making it easy to create compelling emails in less time. When a lead registers for the solar and decarbonization webinar and qualifies, Copilot alerts Cheryl to review before handing off to sales. Shifting personas to a marketing manager, they get a clear view of performance across journeys and channels. They can review overall journey analytics and aggregated views of content engagement. Channel analytics provides a different perspective with channel-specific metrics like clicks, open rates, delivery success, and issues. They can drill in to review specific journeys inflows or review the performance of specific emails to drive improvements in future campaigns, all on a single platform.
Cool. So what we've shown today is just a glimpse of the foundational capability within a typical marketing workflow. And we've also seen how this can be accelerated using Copilot. Our in-person events are looking to expand over the next two horizons that we have on the screen here. And the first thing we've shown you is that sort of foundational data where it's looking at capturing the demographic, firmographic, and transactional information that you typically gain from customers and businesses, and how we brought that together to create some of these insights. Now, as you grow as an organization in your marketing initiatives, you then start targeting behavioral data to then start building metrics like customer lifetime value, or understanding what their key strategies are, and then using that to factor it into your marketing initiative. And then in the final stage, or the third phase, it looks at bringing together this streaming and sentiment data to unlock more prescriptive insights. So you're moving from that reactive state to a more proactive way of delivering marketing content, which ultimately means that you can create campaigns that are more impactful and more personalized to the customers. Now, the capabilities we saw today is just a very small portion of customer insights, because this is an enterprise grade end-to-end marketing orchestration platform. And the best thing is that it shares its data with some the other Dynamics 365 apps that we've seen today. So if you're keen on anything you see on the screen here, please do feel free to shout out in the Q&A, and we can take that as some suggestions for our in-person events later this year. So let's move on to this invisible CRM for sales concept we called out earlier. Now, with this, we wanted to show how we can bring a shift from traditional forms over data that David called out earlier to intelligent and connected platforms where data comes to the user at the tools that they use. So it keeps them in the flow of work. So this means that, you know, enabling sales reps to focus on the relationships while the agents do the creating and the updating of typical transactional data. It's going from trying to, you know, figure out which opportunities to target manually and doing the research to agents that are working around the clock, you know, aligning leads and opportunities to your ideal customer profile or highlighting deal conversion risks and then flagging them to you to take action. And ultimately, this is moving a CRM system from what is pushing data in to receiving actionable and data-backed insights out. And this is pooling together data from multiple sources on this single platform. So let's have a look at the journey we're going to walk through. I'm going to take on this role of Jason, our seller, who's going to start their day with Microsoft Teams and how they can review leads that have already been qualified for him by a sales qualification agent, and this is happening autonomously. He then reviews the activities and the next best steps, and Copilot helps him draft a personalized outreach. We'll then look at Outlook, a very commonly used tool, and how CRM data comes to him and then gives him insights when an email comes in from an opportunity. And then we'll see how this can be pushed into Dynamics with a couple of clicks, and then how you can collaborate within teams, bringing all of this data together. And then we're going to wrap up by seeing how Copilot helps with day-to-day meeting preparations before and after the meeting as well, again, serving you insights as a seller.
Jason from Hisol Energy starts his day in Copilot for Sales in Microsoft Teams. Here, leads from Dynamics 365 Sales have already been researched for him using the sales qualification agent. Opening a lead record, he sees an AI-generated next best action to provide tailored information about Hisol's containerized battery solution and a concise summary of key insights, company finances, priorities, challenges, and opportunities, all automatically gathered from trusted web sources, saving hours of manual work. Jason clicks draft email to instantly create a personalized message from the research. Copilot suggests talking points he can include or remove, offering next step prompts, like a 15-minute call or an open invite, and even lets him switch the email to another language. Once he's happy, he applies changes and sends it straight to the lead. Next, Jason moves to Outlook. He's received an email from his contact JB asking about battery storage solutions, and Copilot instantly provides a summary combining the email content with data from CRM. Normally, he'd switch to CRM to create an opportunity, but Copilot for Sales assists him with creating the solar canopy opportunity within Outlook and links the email. He spins up a deal room in Microsoft Teams, enabling him to collaborate with his colleagues while maintaining context and access to necessary documents. Everything stays connected across CRM, Teams, and SharePoint, making collaboration seamless. 1 hour before the customer meeting, Copilot reminds Jason and gives a quick summary of the solar canopy opportunity, recent communications, and strategic insights, so he's prepared without digging through emails, web research, or CRM. After the meeting, Copilot generates a detailed summary with key discussion points, insights, and suggested next steps. It even recommends tasks, like drafting a proposal or follow-up email, that Jason can create directly in Dynamics 365 with a single click, keeping everything organized and actionable.
Cool. So in that experience, you know, CRM's been there in the background consistently, but the seller just worked in their tools of choice. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that there's still very much a CRM in the background, and we still want to show you what an agentic experience within a typical CRM looks like. So with this, we're going to take on our persona of a sales manager now, someone who would use CRM for their typical reporting needs. And we're going to see how they can get that quick overview from a pipeline perspective, dive into any one of these opportunities, and then instead of having to work out or catch up with your seller to work out where the opportunity is, get a Copilot enabled summary along with key insights and risks. That's using the opportunity research agent. And with some of these agents we've shown you today, the role of a sales manager is changing. And this is where we're going to show you how the AI hub will let a sales manager define job descriptions for agent performance, just as you would like any other employee, and then review performance of that agent as well and see how they are performing in their day-to-day work.
Now let's switch to the sales manager's view in Dynamics 365 Sales. Copilot makes it easy to spot the right opportunities with a pipeline view that summarizes key metrics and a deal tracker showing size, stage, and proximity to close, helping managers quickly identify large or stalled deals and act accordingly. When the manager, or seller if they are in CRM, opens the Solar Canopy opportunity, the Opportunity Research Agent provides a summary highlighting early risk signals and recommended actions. Clicking into full research reveals categorized risks, next best steps, and insights like stalled engagement. It also offers deeper context such as stakeholders, pain points, competitors, and aligns the opportunity to best practice frameworks such as MEDDPICC. All this is done autonomously by the Opportunity Agent, bringing data from CRM, emails, and external web sources, helping sellers stay focused and accelerate deal progression. Finally, as sales managers become agent bosses, the Dynamics 365 AI Hub provides control to define agent behaviors. The Sales Qualification Agent, for example, allows a manager to define your ideal customer profile and align them to your service offerings or sales playbook knowledge sources. They can set automation levels for tasks like gathering insights or drafting outreach emails, and decide when to hand off to a seller. Managers can also monitor performance with key metrics, like processing and handoff rates, and visualize lead progress through funnels. And if needed, they can drill into the research details behind any lead with the same experience in CRM as it was in Teams, bringing contextual insights to the user in the tools of their choice.
Cool. So with that, you have seen just a small glimpse of some of the agentic capabilities within Dynamics 365 Sales. What we've covered today is the sales agent and Copilot for Sales, the sales research agent, and the sales qualification agent. But there's still a lot more coming and a lot more to show as well, given that this is an end-to-end sales platform, and things like sales chat, where it's getting to the point where you can just chat over your sales data using M365 Copilot, and it gives you that information in the context of Teams or M365 Copilot. So I'm going to hand over to David now to talk you through the service journey.
Yes, so thank you, Jason. So we've seen a lot about how all of the tools that you use in Microsoft are embedded together. So really, this is all about, why Microsoft for AI-led service transformation. So not only do all the tools in the stack that you would use for productivity and collaboration work together and seamlessly, and all of that data is going into one place where you can harvest it. It's also, Microsoft is also an AI market leader. Everything connects, all the channels and roles that you work with on your data, everything's connected together. And it's been an organization that's been on a journey to improve its own service over time to deliver a lot of extremely leading edge, if you like, service capabilities. So we're going to drill into some of those in a moment. But first of all, let's think about what the current organizational issues are that we're seeing and that the market analysts are seeing. So, for example, Forrester research shows that 25% of brands saw a drop in customer experience rankings recently, because customer expectations are really much higher than they were before. Everybody's doing a lot more research on the internet. They're looking at what other competitors are doing, and they're finding an increased expectation in terms of service level. And that's actually leading to another problem that the Contact Babel Contact Center Decision Makers Guide showed, where a lot of people who are in those service rep jobs dealing with customer issues or complaints or compliments in the contact center are actually finding the job less rewarding. They've got to work with multiple systems. They're suffering from burnout, and the attrition rate is pretty high. Also, we saw that with the BizData 360 research, that leaders are struggling with disconnected data. So that kind of disconnected environment, which we'll show in a moment, means that your platform is fragmented. It's a patchwork of systems which create both financial burdens and security risks. Teams end up wiring AI into every layer, sort of to try and make it work better. But that makes things more costly. You've got lots of integrations, lots of platforms, lots of risk, because you've got to provide your data out to lots of different AI systems, and potentially that could be a risky process. So with Microsoft, they bring it all together in one platform, which is easy to govern, secure, and efficient. So we'll see that in a moment. So what does smarter service look like with AI agents? So we've seen in the sales scenarios that Jason talked through how AI agents are helping sales representatives and sales managers do their work. Also within the service arena, we're seeing a number of different issues being addressed by agents. And we'll show what those look like within the demonstration I'll show in a moment. So for example, at the moment, you've got siloed data and access to customer issues. With the intent agent, it will be able to see what customers are talking to you about across any channel. For example, if they reach out to you on a web chat or a phone call or an email, it will assimilate the context of that email, work out what the intent is of the customer. That means, what does the customer actually want to achieve to resolve their issue? And with those intents, it learns how to, by looking at all the activities that have happened in the past, the agent will look at the resolution steps. And then as a customer service rep is working through that issue, they'll have on hand all the resolution steps recommended to them. And we'll see that in the demonstration. Also, things that are very time consuming in customer service centers is basically keeping frequently asked questions, knowledge-based guidance for the agents up to date. And often those things are really difficult to manage in customer service centers. So with the knowledge management agent that's able to look at the resolution steps and the outcomes of every conversation and every case, and suggest improvements to those articles, and help to lower the average handle time for every customer interaction. We're also seeing that managing cases themselves is quite a burden. So again, with the case management agent, it's able to follow up on cases that have been created, look at the service level timers, and maybe over a period of time, it can actually send follow-up emails and say, I know you said you were going to get back to us with details of what your problem was, but we haven't heard from you. Those kind of emails can be almost like automatically generated by the agent autonomously in the background. So it will actually keep those cases up to date and keep the conversation flowing, and so on. And the last bit that's really difficult in contact centers is actually scheduling people for shifts. So the workforce management agent is able to look at skills, availability, but also predict the volumes of cases that are coming in, and the typical intents, maybe seasonal, that will be coming in. So it'll actually allocate people to work in those areas automatically, so you don't have to, as a supervisor, kind of work through massive spreadsheets of who's on the roster. It's all done for you autonomously now. So with that, we're going to look at a customer journey, see what that looks like. Going to move this off the screen. Great. So here we're going to take the journey of Oliver, who's going to contact High Soul Energy, our fictitious company, on his channel of choice. Today we'll show it in a web chat, but equally we could show it in a voice call conversation or a WhatsApp channel conversation, or even an email. So again, whatever way he likes to send in his request, he's going to send that through. And it's about a battery alarm. We'll see that. Then through the conversation, it gets escalated to a live agent. David will pick it up as a live agent, so he's going to manage that incoming case, but also he's going to be prompted by the intent agent, who knows that it's about a battery alarm. It knows how to resolve this issue. We'll see the steps and the resolution of that issue. And all the time, the conversation between Oliver and David, which we call an interview, has a series of steps to clarify exactly what the issue is, until ultimately he's recommended a solution, which is from the knowledge base and what the agent has learned from previous incidents.
Oliver is a customer of High Soul Energy and has spotted an issue at one of the telecom mast sites. A battery alarm is going off and showing up on his remote monitoring app. He visits the High Soul Energy website and starts a web chat to find out how to solve the issue. The web chat agent powered by Copilot is able to determine the intent of his request to resolve the battery alarm. It validates his identity and customer details and performs a remote diagnostic to check the firmware of his installation. This detects an electrical issue and suggests the conversation should be handled by a live chat agent for further assistance. The web chat request is routed to David, who is the best available service rep to handle live installation issues. David can see a full transcript of the conversation so far and a summary generated by Copilot. The case management agent creates a new case in the background and populates relevant fields based on the conversation. David greets Oliver using a quick reply and reviews the context from the chat interaction. Meanwhile, the intent agent determines the best resolution steps required to solve the problem. It suggests the next best question to ask the customer to help resolve this kind of issue. It also knows that the firmware level and error code have already been determined by the earlier chat conversation, so does not need to ask for that information again. David asks for more details on the installation, the cable connections, fan status and alarm, and other attributes that have been learned by the intent agent based on similar case resolutions. Based on the customer response, the next question will dynamically adjust until finally a solution can be recommended. Oliver's problem is identified and solved quickly and easily, thanks to the assistance and knowledge provided to David. At the end of the conversation, Copilot summarizes the conversation and the case management agent updates the notes and relevant fields with a summary of the conversation. This saves David valuable time during wrap-up. Oliver is also prompted to share feedback on his experience. This helps ensure High Soul Energy is always providing exceptional customer service by using AI agents in Dynamics 365.
Great. So we've seen in that example, how the three and the agents work together. The point here is I just want to show that we're trying to expand the bubble on the left, the self-service side, by having the autonomous agents help improve the capabilities of the self-service agent, but also provide assisted service where the service teams are working with the information and knowledge they need. And through that process, everything continuously improves. So to replace that broken platform that you had before, the Microsoft Service Platform is one platform, unified, one vendor across the piece that provides you the ability to customers the ability to contact you on their channel of choice. It provides agents that help with self-service, so driving that self-service journey and removing the burden on the contact center. The routing engine will actually route to the right person based on the skills and availability. And then through the whole journey, everything is working together autonomously and in a unified way. And this has really delivered a lot of benefits to organizations that have taken on this platform. We've seen based on Microsoft's research, 25% lower case resolution time, but significant reduction in service rep attrition as well, because they love to use the platform they're working with. So again, that's kind of a massive impact on your teams. So the Microsoft ecosystem covers every part of your business. So Dynamics 365, Contact Center, Teams, Outlook, Sales, all of these work together seamlessly. And Azure provides the secure identity, trust, and compliance at the foundational layer. Copilot and agents connect your users with your data. So wherever your workforce is in the contact center of the back office, working on cases, the front line or out in the field, everybody can work together and collaborate across the estate and harvesting data and connections to create your golden asset, which is insight into your customers' desires, wishes, and needs. So with that, we just sort of reiterate the benefits of the Microsoft platform is marketing leading AI, provides the ability to cut costs and provide faster time to value across the stack. Security and privacy and compliance are built in at the core. But it's not just about technology itself. It's about empowering your teams and improving the experience for people and giving a much better human-led experience for both your customer service reps and your sales leaders and your managers, but also for your customers who enjoy working with organizations that have got this kind of customer experience platform to support them. So the Agentic platform advantage is, we've talked a little bit about the apps here on the left-hand side, like Dynamics Customer Service and Sales and Customer Insights, and how the agents have now been brought in to augment those, as well as Copilot. But also on the right-hand side, we'll talk shortly about the Power Platform and the benefits of that. These are basically components that allow you through instructions and simple formula and visual design interfaces to create workflows and apps for your business. So we'll see how those all work together in a moment. So I'll just hand back to Jason and talk about that.
Thanks, David. We're hoping you can hang on for a few minutes extra. But just to cover that, with Copilot being the baseline, with M365 Copilot and the Power Platform working together, you can build on this and build either your own agents that extend Copilot or fuse together Dynamics 365 Power Platform and agents to build those custom apps, and they're all integrated throughout. Now, one thing to also call out is the Microsoft Power Platform, which is effectively the underpinnings of what we've shown you today, is one of the low-code platforms of choice on the Forrester Wave as of Q2. So you can see how this single platform does provide an extreme amount of value. And just to call out some of the things that we've seen in our work that can be achieved with the platform, which is almost infinite possibility really, is, for example, a national UK-wide national permitting and enforcement platform serving 3,000 users and thousands of applications a year, multiple customer-facing portals that serves hundreds of users and hundreds of thousands of residents or customers, project management and execution that we use internally. We have a whole host of applications to cater for our user base, and equally, in the finance, retail, and manufacturing space, where you need these specialized applications, that has managed to serve up thousands of products, of trying to connect vendors and suppliers and invoice and credit control. And in a grant management example, in the finance space, it's passed through millions worth of grant funding as well. So a lot of possibility in terms of accelerating flows and workflows. Now, we've talked about what it can do, but equally, agentic capabilities allow you to build on the platform in a rapid fashion. And here's a quick video to show you how.
Many organizations have developed micro apps like spreadsheets to tackle business problems, which creates a disconnected experience that is complex and difficult to manage. Let's see how Microsoft Power Apps Plan Designer helps app makers jumpstart their app development easily. It helps create secure, connected apps that work with their data and can scale across the enterprise. You simply describe your app to design it, and the agents will do the heavy lifting. Plan Designer starts with your business problem and uses AI agents to perform the key tasks in design and creation of the app. Here we are creating an app for Hysol Energy for their on-site engineers to manage the equipment and firmware at customer sites. Based on the description of the business problem and information it knows, it defines the key personas and their responsibilities and builds a plan to create the app. In this case, it creates an app for the on-site work, as well as an administrative app for managing the sites, equipment, and firmware. Here we are reviewing the process that Plan Designer created, and adding a new task to perform the firmware update for the equipment at this site. We'll reuse the automation that was created for the Copilot agents used in the contact center, which performs a firmware check. In the background, the agents update the requirements, process, data, and solution to stay in sync with changes made on the plan design. Within the overall plan, we can review the generated data model, link to existing tables, or extend the model to suit the business need. The Site and Equipment Admin app is published and ready for testing. Test data has been created to show what the app will look like. The Firmware Manager app can also be reviewed to see how it works and how it connected to the same underlying data model. Within the Power Apps Designer, the theme, user experience, and visual elements can all be easily adjusted to the branding required for Hysol Energy, whilst also checking for accessibility and usability on different form factors. In a few minutes, we've taken a business problem and turned it into a working app as the starting point for the finished solution, accelerating your business app development using AI agents in Power Platform.
To wrap up, if you've seen anything that caught your eye today and you're keen to hear more, we do have some core capabilities that we help customers with. And we are Microsoft's preferred partner in terms of getting funding to exercise some of these activities that you see on screen here today. If you've got any thoughts, comments, or feedback, the link that you see on your screen is clickable, so please do click, and we do value your feedback. So I'll pause you for a brief moment before just showing up the next steps. Cool. And just in terms of what's happening next, if you have any follow-ups, you've got our contact details equally, links clickable, that you can get in touch with us. But if you want to see more in person and we want to expand this out and go into more detail, we've got 3 dedicated in-person events with links and QR codes on the screen here for you to register, and then we'll get in touch about attendance. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for giving your valuable time today, and hope you have a lovely rest of the day.